Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and we're so excited to welcome to the show Michelle A. Smith, the founder of the Pembroke Tapernelli Film Fest. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
It's such a special platform and a very unique festival. Can
Yes.
you share with us a little bit about it?
Sure. The Pembroke Tapernelli Arts and Film Festival is an international artivist festival that focuses on social justice issues. So all the art that we do in the festival all focuses around social justice issues. So we do music, we do art exhibits, we do film screenings or theatrical performances, but it all has at the core of it a social justice issue.
I love that.
Yeah.
Such an important way of doing it. And I totally believe in not making people wrong,
Right.
but just putting the art out,
Exactly.
telling the story and allowing it to land in consciousness.
Exactly. And the great thing about it is it's international festival. So not only are we hearing about, let's just take domestic violence, for example. Not only are we hearing about domestic violence, we're getting it from the context of someplace else. So we learn about domestic violence that happens in Sweden, not a place that you would ever think you'd hear about domestic violence, correct? But we do have a film in the festival that speaks to that. LGBTQ issues in a place like Iran. It's not something that you would necessarily think, but we get to see what happens in that country in regard to that community and how they're treated and, how the perspectives of that particular country as well.
Is that your favorite part of the festival?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the main reasons I wanted to do it in that way was because I think it's important for us to understand that we're not alone in what we're experiencing. And then also we can learn from what other people are doing. Especially like this year, we're focusing on healthcare. We know that in a lot of European countries, they have universal healthcare. What can we learn from what's happening there, how their healthcare system is working? What are some of the good things that we can take from it? What are some of the things that are problematic about it that we can learn from? And then if we do have an opportunity to get universal healthcare, how can we make it better? Right? Because there's still issues with it, right? So then what can we learn take away from their experiences so we can improve on it, and then so we can really have it because it's needed. There's so many people who don't have access in this country. So we're exploring that in the festival.
And what is also needed is a platform for the conversation that you've created. What was the catalyst for you in founding this festival?
Interestingly enough, I have an arts background and a legal background as well. And so it was basically the marriage of my desire to help and my love for entertainment. I grew up in Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica, and I grew up in a community, which is where the Pembroke comes from. I grew up in Pembroke Hall. And Pembroke Hall was a very interesting place. There's a lot of socioeconomic disparities. Like we had people who had wealth, and then there are people who were very poor. And I saw as a child the way people who didn't have were treated. We were kind of in the middle. We didn't have a lot, but we weren't kind of, on that. So I saw how they were treated, and as a child, it impacted me. I knew viscerally that something was wrong with that. And so I've always had that mindset and that desire to help. So I thought law school was going to do it. I studied psychology so I could learn the criminal mind, so I could be a great defender, Yeah, no. That did not work out. I had an internship, and I went to criminal court, and I cried. I sat there and I literally cried at the way the people were being treated, and I said, this is not for me. So
being a lawyer or a criminal psychologist seems so cool on TV, doesn't it? So interesting, but it's so different in reality.
On TV, very different. Very, very different. So I wanted to do something. So I wanted to do a festival. And initially, the festival idea came about because I wanted to see more Black films, more African depictions in positive ways. So I wanted to do that. But then I looked in the landscape of the festival circuit, and there were a lot of really great African film festivals out there. The Pan-African that we have here in Los Angeles, it's a great festival. The American Black Festival, that was great too, ABFF. Really great. So I thought, I don't need to add to that landscape. I need to do what I love, the thing that speaks to me in that social justice. And so that's kind of how it came about.
Was there any concern when you tapped into this knowingness inside that you had sort of this purpose? Was there any concern that it wasn't going to be able to be realized?
No.
You always had faith.
No, I had faith that, what's interesting was, I had faith that it could happen. I really didn't know how.
Yeah.
And I just started scribbling, this idea, and like, it's going to be like this, I'm going to do this. But what I really thought was, people are going to love this. It's going to jump on the bandwagon. I'm going to get all these sponsorship. I'm going to get so much money. It's going to happen. No.
Despite the faith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first festival, I worked 3 jobs to pay for it. The second festival, I lost my apartment because of the festival. But it was great. I totally am committed to what I'm doing. And so for me, every story that you hear of successful people, they've gone through something. So I believe that whatever struggles or whatever sacrifices or whatever thing that you go through, you come out of the other end. And when you come out of the other end, there's growth. And that's what's important.
Well, and we get to celebrate that growth November 1st through the 4th at the festival. Tell us where it's going to be at.
At the LA Live Regal Theater, 1000 Olympic Boulevard. And so we are having the festival there. We have a youth component to our festival this year, and that we're speaking about mental health. So a lot of our youth are experiencing suicide. There's so much violence with the school shootings and all of that. So we're having a panel with psychiatrists and therapists and people who work in the schools to talk to this very important issue. And so we can have parents and educators learn the warning signs. They can know what to look for. They can know how to support these young people. And then we're doing a cool thing. We have a concert. And that's going to be downtown. It's going to be a concert with these amazing artists that speaks to social issues. They're going to be, it's going to be hip hop, it's going to be spoken word, but it's all going to be positive lyrics, empowering lyrics, that we want these kids to feel empowered and learn that they have a purpose and give them hope through the music. And so that's going to happen.
Yes. We love that.
Yes. For all your work. Such a beautiful, beautiful place to make a difference and transform the world. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Where can people find and follow the festival and get tickets?
www.ptaff.org. You can follow us on Instagram at PTA Film Festival, and on Facebook, PTA Film Festival as well.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Stay tuned. We'll be
Thank
right
you.
back.